I've spent the last 5 years making sure that I succeed financially later in life. And I've always been curious to why some people have more money than others, even when those people with more may be earning less. Throughout my finance journey, I've been speaking with high earners with very little real wealth and low earners with real wealth, real assets, and on a trajectory to become multi-millionaires. From this, I've realized that there are some very common bad money habits that are going around, which I've now been able to eliminate for myself, and I'm looking to use this video as a way to pass those over to you, just to ensure that you are no longer being held back in your own financial journey. The first on that list is not developing financial literacy. In the book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki explains that for growing wealth, it's not about how much money you make, but how much money that you keep. And that's why you see so many high earners that are not actually wealthy, even though they may be earning hundreds of £1,000s per year. To really be wealthy, you need to master that art of financial literacy. Think of it this way. If you wanted to go and build a skyscraper, you'd have to dig really deep into the ground to set some solid foundations, which will be secure, allowing the building to reach those immense heights that you're after. But if you wanted to go and build a bungalow instead, you could probably just build that on the surface level and not really have to dig that deep. We're only going one story tall. Now, with most people, when it comes to their finances, using that same analogy, they're trying to build a skyscraper on the foundations of a bungalow, which is guaranteed to come crashing down. You may have even seen this on the news with actors, celebrities, sports stars, people that have earned millions over their career who are now bankrupt, doing whatever they can to secure a quick buck, because these people did not set any foundations with their money early on. To start developing this financial literacy, Robert suggests paying yourself first, because most poor people pay themselves last. They will pay for their necessities first, like rent, food, bills, and the money that they have left will go towards new purchases, holidays, going out with friends, and come the end of the month, they have very little or no money left for saving or investing. Instead, you should follow the habits of the rich and be putting away a bare minimum of 10 to 15% of your after-tax paycheck every single month, and then using this to either put straight away into a savings account or for an investment account. By locking this money away every single month, you're making sure it's not slipping through your fingers through spending. And by not just using the money you have left at the end of every single month, which could be zero, you are developing good money habits early on and making sure that you are investing a solid amount every single month that's going to go towards your future. The second bad money habit is consuming bad debt. I feel like people are using debt to purchase everything at the moment, from food to phones to clothes and to cars. Debt used to be a thing that people stayed away from, only ever used really for mortgages and for serious times of need. But with buy now, pay later companies flooding the market, people are consuming more and more items because they have so many more options to finance them. Remember, these companies want you to go into debt. That's how they make their money. Look at the average credit card interest rate. It's around 22% for those that can't pay. These companies are not just doing this to help you out, they are doing this to make themselves money. If you are getting into debt, you need to make sure that you have enough money set aside to pay for that item in full should you ever need to. Don't be putting yourself into debt for things that you definitely cannot afford, because that is how you end up in such serious financial trouble. The third bad habit is not having a financial safety net. Dave Ramsey stresses the importance of having this buffer if you ever want to get out of debt and start building wealth. In fact, in his 7 baby steps that he has, this is the first one. He gets people to stash away $1,000 or £1,000 for those that are going out and aggressively tackling their debts. Because if you are A, spending a huge portion of your spare cash on eliminating the debts that you may have, or B, spending that huge portion of your cash to go towards investments, and then all of a sudden get hit with unexpected bills such as your car breaks, your washing machine breaks, you smash your phone. How are you going to pay for that without going into more debt? You aren't. So having that $1,000 is essentially a bit of a buffer should one of those unexpected expenses occur. Another rule that Dave then mentions, which is his third step along the baby steps, is saving around 3 to 6 months of your living expenses. And then putting that into a high interest savings account, such as one that you can do with Trading 212, where right now you get around 5% on your pounds that you put in there. This money is then there as a extra safety net should you ever need to dip into it, such as you or your partner loses their job, or something quite major happens, such as your roof starts leaking and you need a new one. Having this money set aside gives you that peace of mind and allows you to start thinking less protectively around your money, and now start thinking in more of that abundance mindset that you can start to put some money towards investments. The fourth bad money habit that we see is overspending. Lots of people nowadays are spending just for the sake of spending, and every increase that they get in their salary or their income is eaten up by more and more monthly payments, such as nicer homes and newer cars. And this is known as lifestyle inflation. It's your expenses increase as soon as your income increases. And one of the biggest issues that comes with this is the mindset that people have. They think, if I was earning more money, I'd be able to save my money. Think if I was going from 40k to 50k, the extra difference, I definitely would save it. But if you currently aren't saving that money now, when the temptation to buy new things is lower because you just don't have the free cash, how do you expect yourself when you do have the free cash to not go and spend it and to go and save that money away? You just won't. You need to save and invest no matter what income you have. If you aren't disciplined now, no matter how much money you make, you are never going to be disciplined. And there's very few people out there with money who have never been disciplined. So no matter what, whatever income you're at, you need to start saving and you need to start investing. And some people may say, Lewis, I just can't do that. I'm living paycheck to paycheck right now. Well, if you look back to the video at the start, we mentioned how we need to start paying ourselves first. Doing this will allow you to think in more creative ways around how to make that money last for the entirety of the month. It's the same with Parkinson's law. The more time you give yourself to complete a task, the longer it takes for you to do it. The same with money. The more money you give yourself each month, the more money you're going to spend. Likewise, the less money you give yourself every single month, the less money you will spend. So that goes both ways. Any kind of pay increase, just pretend you still haven't got one. And if you go down in salary, still take the same amount of money away every single month on a percentage basis. Do not allow your investings and your savings to be neglected. And the fifth and final money habit that's keeping you poor is you're waiting too long to start investing in the first place. Most poor people are scared to take risks and to start investing, and just purely saving money has never got anybody rich. If all you do is save your money, it's going to be eaten away every single year by inflation. Think, if inflation is up by 5% this year, your £100,000 that you may have saved up is now worth $95,000. But investing counteracts inflation and grows your money at the same time. Look at it this way, if you invest your money into a vehicle that grows 8% every single year, and you do this early on, you could end up with hundreds of thousands of pounds saved up by the time you want to retire, and could even be a millionaire. By paying yourself first, setting aside that 10%, even if you were earning £30,000 per year, you can still save £200 per month. And if you started at 20 years old and did this until you retired, you would have over £1 million stashed away. But let's say you were a little bit cautious around investing and didn't start until 15 years after this point, and you're 35 years old and think, actually, now it's the time for me to do this. Putting the same £200 a month away until you retired would net you around $298,000, a third of what you'd get if you started just 15 years earlier. And in fact, if you wanted to still get to that £1 million amount, you would need to be investing £700 every single month, over 3 times what you have needed if you started at 20 years old. Showing you just how crucial it is to start investing and start investing early. So I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, why not check out this video I did on how much money you should have saved by what age? And as always, drop a like and subscribe, and I'll see you for a new video next week.